Early life and beginnings. Duncan Edwards was born on October 1, 1936, in the industrial town of Dudley, in the West Midlands, England. The son of a coal miner, Edwards was raised in a working-class family, where the harsh realities of life and the value of hard work were taught from a young age. However, Edwards' exceptional talent for football was apparent even in his early years, and it was clear that he was destined for something special. As a child, Edwards was a natural athlete, excelling in various sports, but football quickly became his greatest passion. He began playing for the local youth teams, where his immense skill and leadership qualities stood out. Edwards played with a combination of power, intelligence, and versatility that was rare for players of his age, and by the time he was a teenager, he was already being noticed by scouts. Edwards' breakthrough into competitive football came when he was just 15 years old. His performances with the youth teams around Dudley earned him a trial at Manchester United's Youth Academy, one of the most prestigious football institutions in England. His raw talent and maturity for his age left a lasting impression, and it was only a matter of time before he joined the famous club's ranks, joining Manchester United. At just 16 years old, Duncan Edwards made his debut for Manchester United in 1952, joining a team that was already beginning to establish itself as one of the best in English football. Under the guidance of manager Sir Matt Busby, the club was in the process of building a team that would dominate both domestically and internationally in the coming years. Edwards quickly became a first-team regular at United, despite his young age. His debut came in a match against Cardiff City in April 1953, and it was clear that Edwards was no ordinary teenager. He was composed beyond his years, with a calm, authoritative presence on the field that belied his age. Edwards' physical strength, coupled with his technical ability and football intelligence, made him an instant hit with both his teammates and fans. At Manchester United, Edwards played as a midfielder but was versatile enough to be deployed in several positions across the field. His ability to read the game, break up opposition attacks, and drive forward with the ball made him one of the most complete players of his generation. Edwards was an imposing figure, capable of dominating the midfield with his strength and presence, but he was also known for his delicate touch and passing range. Rise to prominence with the Busby Babes. As Edwards' career progressed, so did the rise of Manchester United as a footballing force. Under the leadership of Sir Matt Busby, the club's youth-driven philosophy came to the fore, and Edwards was one of the key pillars of what would become known as the Busby Babes. This group of young, talented players, including the likes of Bobby Charlton, Roger Byrne, and Dennis Viollet, were poised to take England by storm. The Busby Babes were renowned for their fluid, attacking football and their ability to play with both technical finesse and physicality. They were a team on the verge of greatness, and much of that was down to Edwards' leadership and influence. He was a natural captain on the field, even at such a young age, and his maturity and understanding of the game set him apart from his peers. Edwards was part of the Manchester United team that won the First Division title in the 1955-56 and 1956-57 seasons, marking the beginning of a golden era for the club. During this time, Edwards also played a key role in United's European campaigns, with the club advancing into the European Cup in 1957, just as Edwards was reaching the peak of his form. Edwards' performances for Manchester United during this period earned him widespread recognition. He was heralded as one of the most promising young players in Europe, drawing comparisons to the great midfielders of the time. His physicality, combined with his flair for attacking football, made him a unique player in the world of football. The Munich air disaster, a life-changed forever tragedy, struck on February 6, 1958, when a plane carrying the Manchester United team, including Duncan Edwards, crashed in Munich, Germany, following a European Cup match against Red Star Belgrade. The disaster claimed the lives of 8 of United's players, including several of the Busby Babes, and left others, including Edwards, seriously injured. Edwards was one of the most severely affected by the crash. He was rushed to a Munich hospital with life-threatening injuries, including internal bleeding and multiple fractures. Despite the severity of his injuries, Edwards fought for his life, displaying a level of resilience and determination that was typical of his character. He was initially reported to be in critical condition, but there was hope that he might recover. Sadly, after weeks of struggle, Duncan Edwards passed away on February 21, 1958, at the age of just 21. His death marked a devastating loss for both Manchester United and the world of football. Edwards was not only a footballing talent but also a symbol of the future of the game. A young player with limitless potential who was taken far too soon. Legacy and impact on football. Duncan Edwards' death left a void in the football world that was impossible to fill. His contributions to the game, both on and off the pitch, are remembered to this day. And his name is synonymous with both tragedy and triumph. Edwards was more than just a player. He was a beacon of hope for a new generation of footballers and a symbol of what could have been. His influence on Manchester United is still felt today. The Busby Babes, and especially Edwards, were integral in the rebuilding of the club after the disaster. Sir Matt Busby, who survived the crash, continued to build a team in the image of his fallen players, with Bobby Charlton emerging as the new leader of the team. The Manchester United of the late 1950s was a club on the rise, and though the tragedy struck a devastating blow, the legacy of players like Duncan Edwards would go on to inspire future generations. Edwards' playing style continues to be analyzed and admired. His versatility as a player, his leadership qualities, and his ability to dominate both the midfield and defense set him apart as one of the greatest English footballers of all time. Many experts and former players have remarked that had Edwards lived longer, he would have been regarded as one of the very best in the history of the game.